Hey everybody, Derpy Josh here. Yet again, bring you another exciting tutorial for Minecraft. This time it isn't for the original Minecraft that we're used to playing. We're going to be doing a Tekkit server today. I've been recently doing a lot of stuff in Tekkit online with some friends of mine, and well, if you do this tutorial right, hopefully you will be able to do the same. So I'm going to go ahead and bring up Google as we get started. And when we go to Google, we're going to type in Tekkit, and it should be the first thing to come up. You'll say Tekkit Pack, home of the Tekkit and Tekkit. Brings you to this website right here. So what you'll need is a Tekkit launcher, excuse me. Tekkit and Tekkit are two different groups of mods, basically, but the launcher is the way that you can use it, basically. So really easy. But if you go over here to download the Tekkit launcher on this little button, it'll say your download will start in a few seconds, as it should. You should just be patient, and bam, there it is. So we have our Tekkit launcher in our downloads folder, so that's ready. Next thing up, we're going to click on this tab up here all the way over to Tekkit, and we click there, and it shows us another Tekkit launcher, and we already have that. The next thing we're going to need is the server 3.1.2. So go ahead and click on that, and that automatically downloads quickly. So now we have our launcher and we have our server. Now here's the thing: if you've never used a Tekkit launcher before, you're going to have to update your Java, because if your Java isn't updated, it will not work. So I'm going to open up a new tab, go to Google search, type in Java update, and Java gives you an automatic update. So it shows kind of you know, every, I guess, we gotta hit run this time, there we go. It'll basically automatically update for you for installing Java and stuff like that. There's different versions. There's 32-bit and 64-bit, and a lot of people really don't know how to actually check that on their system. There's a really easy way. If you're using Windows, which I assume you are if you're using this tutorial, you can go ahead and click on your Start button, right click on Computer, click on Properties, and this will show up. It has a bunch of information about your computer, but up at the top you'll see what operating system you're using, and you scroll down, scroll down, scroll down. I got an HP, blah blah blah. There's my processor, there's my RAM, and system type. I'm running 64-bit, so I will need to run a 64-bit Java. And as you can see right here, there's a list for Java, so make sure you're updated. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and close that. Now, if you've installed Java, you've installed your Tekkit launcher, which, by the way, your Tekkit launcher is really easy to install. If you go to your downloads folder where you downloaded everything, you will see, bam, Tekkit launcher, right? So all you got to do is double click it and run it. Okay, so what it'll do is it downloads it, loads it up for you, and bam, there it is. Okay, so I'm already, basically all you have to do is you do need a Minecraft account, and if you haven't gotten one yet, it's $30. I mean, it's half the price of a PS3 game, or an Xbox game, or a Nintendo Wii game, if you actually play Nintendo Wii still, which I do. I still play a little bit. But yeah, buy the game, man. I mean, it's $30, and I play this more than my PlayStation. I have Borderlands 2 upstairs, and I should be playing that, but instead I'm teaching you guys how to do this. So there you go. So anyway, once this is up and running, what I suggest doing is just check and make sure that your single player does work before you try to start running a server. Okay, so up in the top left here, you'll see it says Tekkit. That's because, I mean, by default, it's going to be on Tekkit. So click down and go to Tekkit, and then go to Options right down here by your password, and you'll see a little window right here. I have mine on always use development builds, and that basically means that if there's any updates or anything like that, you're going to be using the latest version basically, and that's what works on ours right now, or on my server right now. However, if you go down to manual build select, you can actually manually choose which one you want to use basically. But I'm going to be using this. Now if you use manual build, make sure everybody else that you tell to get onto your server is using the same version as you, because if you say 1.2.5, I mean there's a million of them, so make sure you use the one that they that you're using. Allocated memory, you can change this if you want. I mean, me personally, I leave it on a gig because a gigabyte is fine, for my system at least. Each system is different, so make sure you choose which one is best for you. I'd say play around with it a little bit. Leave it on 1 gig and see how it runs for you. And please remember that when you load Tekkit and you're loading into a server, it will take a little while to log in and whatnot. And I just remembered that I have actually I have a texture pack on my Tekkit, so it's going to look way different from your guys's. And in fact, I can show you guys how to install that as well, but I might do that in another tutorial. So there you go. So anyway, if you click login, it'll connect, and then it'll launch another pop-out window, and then this one will go away basically. So once that one goes away, which I'm waiting for it to do, because I'm running Camtasia at the same time, it's probably going to be a bit laggy. And to tell you the truth, this is actually more of a test than anything else for myself, because I will be streaming, well, not streaming, but I will be making videos of the Tekkit server that I have going now, and possibly another Tekkit server for tutorials and stuff like that. So I want to make sure that the server runs okay before I start this. But anyway, the texture pack I'm using is Sphax Pure BD Craft, and it's the same one that they use in the Yogscast for their Tekkit server. It's a great texture pack. Lewis wasn't kidding when he said that he was in love with that texture pack, because right when I downloaded it and used it, I loved it. So right away, you'll notice that mine looks different than yours. Don't freak out. Like I said, it's because I am using a texture pack. We're going to go ahead and go to single player here, and we'll create a new world, and we'll call this one test, and we'll make it survival. Now if you go to more world options, you'll see that it doesn't have as many as original Minecraft. That's because they haven't updated this in quite a little while, so don't panic if you don't get a starting chest, because this is Tekkit. You don't need a starting chest. So make sure it runs. We're going to generate a world here. Just make sure it runs and whatnot. I mean, I know mine runs, but this is a one-to-one tutorial. I want to be able to show you guys how to do everything, so this should be a bit easy. Now, oh, lordy. Like I said, it does take a while, because Tekkit is way bigger. There we go. It spawned me somewhere. It's going to be a bit laggy in the beginning, but right away you'll notice on the top right hand corner I have a mini map, which is great. That's a great thing to do. So okay, good. We are running. Awesome. And I actually spawned in a pretty neat little spot, so I might actually save this world. So I'll go ahead and save and quit. Take us back here, and I'll minimize that. Now we have to create our server. I already have a little folder here called Tekkit Server, so I'm going to go ahead and create a new folder called server-tekkit. You can name it whatever you want. I'm just naming it this because I'm going to delete it at the end anyway. So we have nothing in our folder right now, obviously. What we want to do is we want to take our Tekkit server that we downloaded, and we want to drag it into here. Okay? Now you will need WinRAR or WinZip for something like this. So if you don't know what WinRAR or WinZip is, I will leave a link in the I will leave a link below. And in fact, for every website that I've been to, I will leave a link below for you guys. Okay. So if you have WinRAR installed, it should look something like this, or 7-zip. You know, all you got to do is right-click on it and put extract here. Okay. And what it'll do is it'll bring up a little window. Okay, and then all these files will pop up, and this is nothing compared to all the other files we're going to have. Now, this is not necessarily important, but I like to do this once I've extracted everything here. I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it back in my downloads folder, so that way I know where it is if I want to create a new one or something like that. I don't have to go rummaging through all my server files. Okay. Next thing we want to do is we want to go to our launch folder. You can right-click and edit, and this is not really important because I think 3 gigs and 2 gigs is pretty good, but you can actually change these two numbers to allocate the amount of memory that you want to. So for instance, if you wanted to run, you know, 1, you could do that. I personally don't mess with it because, I mean, once again, I think the default runs fine on mine, 3 and 2. I actually have 6 gigs on this machine that I'm using, so that should be fine. Hit launch. It's going to do a bunch of funny stuff. Doop-a-doo. There we go. Okay, sorry for the interruption. I'm going to have to splice that. That'll be fun. Anyway, so if you have launched it correctly, at the bottom you will see creating Railcraft save file. Okay, so it'll go through its thing, and it might take a little while depending on your computer. But if if your computer is connected to the internet correctly, if it is installed with Java correctly, everything should be fine for this. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to type in here stop and click enter. It will automatically save everything in your world, and then it'll say press any key to continue. So I just press any key. So then you'll notice that this folder has gotten a lot bigger with stuff. Okay, now what you want to do in this instance is see this server file. There's 2 of them. There's a text document and there's a properties file. You want to click on the properties file and open it up, and these are basically all of the rules that you have for your server, just like a Minecraft server. Pretty much the same thing. Maximum of 20 players. You know, you can kind of scroll down and see all this stuff. Like I made sure that we can go to the Nether. You can change the world name if you want. The server port I would leave alone on 25565 just because that's default for Minecraft. So if you've done port forwarding before or anything like that, then it's probably already gonna work. You can also generate a level seed. Now here's the big part: your server IP address. You have to put in your server IP or else it won't work. It'll work for you, but it won't work for people trying to connect in. So you're gonna have to put in your server IP. How do you do that, you may ask? I will show you. If you go to Start, and there's a little search bar down here, type in CMD, and you will find your command prompt, CMD right here. Click on it. Inside of here, just type in ipconfig, like that, hit enter, and you're going to have to scroll up because it gives you a lot of info. Now the biggest one is your IPv4 address. That's the one you want to put in. Not your default gateway, not your subnet mask, but your IPv4, excuse me, address. Okay, so copy that over to your IP address like this. Whoops. Okay, and make sure you go to File, Save. And now you're good. Now you can pretty much, I mean, all the other options are pretty much at your disposal. I mean, if you want a maximum of 20 players on your server, what I normally do is I change it to the amount of people that I know are going to be on my server. So I know that another person is going to be connecting on my server. I have 4 people that connect, so I'm going to say allow 5. And once again, save it. Now we will exit. So now, if I now my server's ready to go now. It really is. You can do a couple other things if you want. You can actually put in your ops, but for some weird reason the ops don't really work the way that they should. And by that I mean, I'll show you what I mean anyway. So for instance, I got my Minecraft, or I got my Tekkit running. So we're gonna go ahead and hit the launch again. And remember, it's not the launch.sh. It is the batch file launch. So double click on that. It'll run through its thing again. I'm going to go ahead and minimize. And what I want to do is I want to wait for this to once again say well, this time it'll say Railcraft, loaded 0 saved anchors. And my phone is ringing. Somebody will get it. Wait for the phone to stop ringing so people can hear me clearly. There we go. So now that our server is running, we should technically be able to go into multiplayer. And what you need to do is, if you're running the server, you need to type in your server, basically the same thing you typed in as your server IP, your IPv4. Okay? Now, if your friends want to connect in, they cannot use this IP because that's not their IP. So what they would do is they would go to add to server, and under server address they would put your external IP. Now the way you can find that, and I really don't want to show you guys my external IP, otherwise I will probably get hacked like a mofo. I've heard horror stories. But all you'd have to do is go to Google and type in what is my external IP, and it will automatically come up. Or you can go to ipchicken.com. There's a bunch of places you can do it. But if you type in what is my IP into Google, it will automatically display it up at the top. It'll say your external IP is, and it will give you some numbers. All you have to do is write that number down, or type it in anywhere on your computer and make sure that your friends have it. I don't know if you play on Skype or Vent, or if that's how you guys talk to each other. But that would be the number that your friends have to use to connect to your server. So we're going to go ahead and double click on this and make sure it loads correctly, and it does. Hooray! There we go. And it spawned me by a bunch of sheep and a bunch of pigs. So now we're in Tekkit. It is working, and actually I got spawned right next to an NPC village, which is like money. Thank you. So there you go. That's how you run the Tekkit server. Feel free to comment below. If you guys have any questions, let me know. I will be doing a... Ooh, that's kind of glitchy. I will be doing a tutorial on some Tekkit stuff. Not a lot, because to tell you the truth, I really don't know how to do too much right now. The Tekkit server I got going now, we got some pretty cool stuff going. We got a macerator going. We got some machines going. They're running off of some solar panels right now, and I also got a pump pumping in lava to a geothermal generator, which is ridiculous, and that runs into an MFE. I mean, I'll be showing you guys how to do some really cool stuff. But that's pretty much it. I'm gonna go ahead and call it an end here. Like I said, if you guys have any questions whatsoever, just leave a comment, and I will be more than happy to oblige. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to give me a like, subscribe, and I will hopefully be back with another tutorial soon. Thanks, guys. See ya.